Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another iteration of Making the Sausage. Practically one of the most important iterations of Making the Sausage. Merry Christmas to everyone, and also hopefully to be a great happy new year to come. As you guys can see, as we can all see, MTS is back, stronger, better than ever. So we have the documents have been completed. Here it is, printed for your viewing pleasure, fat stack, double-sided printed. I'm going to explain everything that's inside, and you best believe that you'll be having this pretty soon. So, let me see everyone's in chat, which is what I'm loving, dude. I'm seeing all the names. North Dakota Beast, Sainted Placeboy, Brudimacht, Monani, as anything. We've got Alvin, of course. We've got everyone. We're all here. That's all I want to see. All the right people are here at the right time. And whoever gives a shit about the FGC or Tekken is also should be here. So this is a major event. So let's get to it, man. This is going to take a long time. As we're going to say, I'm going to basically guide you through a slideshow presentation. There we go. The subs are coming in strong. Who was it this time? Sainted. 4 months in a row. Excellent. I really appreciate this. So let's just get onto it, because you know what? I might cut this up, put it on YouTube, have like a tutorial on how to use these documents. A lot of time, probably definitely 1,000 hours of work. We're talking about 4 months. Every single bleeding hour I had left in the day was spent on these documents. There was no bars hold, no prisoners were left. We are going all the way, dude. Dude, I got everything prepared. Don't fucking worry about it. So, as we're going here, you can see Tekken 7, dude. We're gonna make things next level. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to go through the manual itself. I'm just gonna read certain things, and I'm gonna just show examples as I go along the way. I don't want to make it too long, but it might take a bit. But I'm just not gonna waste time. So just hit it, and we'll appreciate it later. And then we'll drop it to YouTube, and then it'll be like a tutorial on how to use it. Although these manuals that I'm reading, you will get. These are gonna be digitally available. So let's get to it. So let's start the introduction, of course. We have got the introduction, as you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just gonna read the opening statement, right? Thank you for checking out the personal match data manual for Tekken 7. This is my first time creating an FGC related match data and encounter analysis sheet. So there has been a lot of trial and error involved in the creation of these files. Also, with the feedback of the community, I hope to optimize and improve these documents for future years and fighting games to come, right? So before we begin, I want to give a couple of primers as to what these documents are for and what you will need to use them. So, fighting games can be extremely deep and difficult to navigate when it comes to training optimally and measuring improvement over time. For the beginner, it's a matter of where do I begin? For the expert, it's a matter of where do I refine? We need to not only know where our strengths and weaknesses lay, but also know in what situation they manifest. Time in the lab is limited, so having an additional guide to support your future decision is paramount. Raw data alone will not make you better. It's how you interpret and implement it to your training and fighting strategy which will elevate your game. All the top athletes and teams have their analysts, fine-tuning their training based upon past data, optimizing their downtime. So for the FGC to step its game up, right, to new heights, I wanted to start introducing these kinds of tools and into the consciousness of its player base. This stuff is ubiquitous, across the board. And this is something that I just wanted to bring up immediately, that this is not going to make you better just because you input the data. It's about what you do with it. So don't think that this is going to bump you up a rank, It's like you have to put the work into it. A lot of people think that this is like a get-rich-quick scheme in some sense, but it's just not. As I said down here, right? These docs are not the solution to all your problems, but only a tool for a certain aspect of the game. It won't teach you frame data, neutral game, combos, movement, poking, punishment, matchup knowledge, or metagame. In other words, everything that I can't do, right? So it will, though, help clarify and visualize which one of these things above you will need to spend more time on. So it can be visually intimidating at first, but I've been deliberate in making these documents as easy to use and interpret as possible. So it's just one sequence. Everything is just a repetition of the same thing. So you only need to learn the thing once, and it's just a repetition of that. You'll see visual examples. I'll show you exactly how it's done. It's super easy. So the greatest thing about these documents is that they become more and more accurate over time. The more information you feed it, the higher the resolution. So treat these documents like a plant. As long as you water it with data every day, it will reward you in return with its fruits. So that is the introduction. So let's move on to the next frame, right? So what are the files and what do I need to use, right? There are 3 main documents, each containing their own subversions to choose from. So there's the encounter charts, which has a basic, intermediate, and advanced version, so you can pick and choose which one you want. There is a wins and losses chart, which is basic and advanced. And there's a competitive chart, which is just a basic chart. It's just one chart for that. So all you need to collect data is a piece of paper, preferably a notebook or something that you can fold and take with you, and a pen. That's it. That's all you need. Whoever's watched my streams, they've seen me do it 1,000 times over. It's just basically that idea. So you just get a thing and you just take it with you. Easy to read, easy to interpret, all that stuff. So the best of 5 grid. Let's move on to the next. Oh, wait, it's that? Also, there is one way of note taking which covers the basis for all the documents. The amount of depth is up to you. So which versions of the notes you choose, mix and match, you'll get a better understanding of it as I show you as they work, right? So you'll get an idea of it. So I'll go through some considerations and recommendations regarding data interpretation and depth of analysis at the end of this presentation, right? So once you've taken your notes for the day, you have to input them into documents on Google Sheets. Let me stress this right now, super important. These have been written on Google Sheets and they've been formatted for Google Sheets. If you download it and open it in Excel or in LibreOffice or any of that kind of stuff, it's gonna destroy the formatting. It's just not gonna work. And the reason I did it on Google Sheets is because it's free. No one needs to own any software, move it around. It's on the cloud. It's just one spot for everything, and all you do is just copy into your files and you just keep your copy. I'll show you exactly how to do it after this, right? So what do we got here? So there is a step-by-step that I want to show you. So moving on to the best of 5 grid. This is the cornerstone of all the documents. So this is related to the way I suggest you write notes. You'll be seeing it all over the manual later. Like as I'm showing it to you, you're gonna see the grid of 5 all the time. So if you don't understand exactly what I mean now, you're just gonna see it 1,000 times. I'm gonna explain it further. So the purposes I recommend it is because it's a consistent way for note taking and the easiest way to read your notes later. So it's not just about, you make it visually easy to comb through your data. If everything's like, 3, 5, 7, 10, 3, 1, 2, it's just hard to look in the eye. So if you just make grids of 5 and you fill them accordingly, you can comb through the data and quickly input it and not have to like count around and get confused. So it's about consistency. So the original idea stemmed from as an anti-tilt mechanism. In order to prevent myself from going into a non-stop, salty runbacks and going into a massive, win streak and then losing it, all that kind of shit. You just keep it as a best of 5. Just commit to it. If you win the best of 5, you leave. If you lose the best of 5, you leave. It's just a really good way to create consistency and preventing tilt and, death matching the death. Unless you are going for the death match, it's like a deliberate idea. If you do that, as I said here. Perhaps you're going for some more high pressure matches and doing a best of 3, something that feels more suitable, then do that. But still keep the best of 5 grid. Just keep the grid, but just end it with 1 or 2 or 3 matches on the grid. Just fill it in because it's consistent across your page. So if you're doing a death match, which can become an endurance matchup, going beyond the best of 5 situation, you still write the best of 5 grid. You always do that. So let's say if you're doing 12 matches, a grid of 5, a grid of 5, a grid of 5, a grid, just stack the grids of 5s and complete them and just stack them and just keep them below. So you write your information once and you just layer it. Who's that legend? JK Reed, absolute legend, dude. I appreciate the sub. Thank you very much, dude. Let's just keep pushing. So, no way I'm not subbing. Hell yeah. Getting that jar, getting that prestige. Whoa, did you just upgrade to, no, you're not. Okay, I was gonna say, you got a bronze jar immediately. One thing at a time. So, oh yeah, and of course Twitch Prime. Absolute, just at the end of the month, right on the razor's edge, Twitch Prime. Genius. So, Let's move on to the next section. Extremely, extremely, extremely important. This is how you make your own copy. If you do this wrong, you're fucked. That's all I gotta say. There's no way around it. There's no way to soften it or none of this shit. So what you do is you go to the documents and you find the appropriate one that you want. In this example, you can see a win and loss advanced Tekken sheet. So the wins and loss chart, the advanced version for Tekken 7, right? Version 1. Like if I do any updates, if I add new characters, or if I do some kind of formatting change, you will see a change in the version number. And I'll probably put a change log so you can see what changed, if it's important for you to redo it or it's just fine as is. So on the top, it's like file, edit, viewer, insert, format, blah, 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 blah. You just go straight to file, as you can see in the red here. You just go to file, click file, and then right underneath, it will say make a copy, not the download as. Do not use the download, it will just fuck it up. So you press the make a copy button. So what it does, it basically grabs exactly the way I made it, exactly the way I wrote it, and moves it over, just a carbon copy to you. So once you do that, it will actually say copy document. It will give you the name in blue, as the one I already gave you, which will say, copy of blah, 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 and the folder. I would say change the name file, just the beginning of it. There's something relevant to your name, to the character you're collecting data for. Let's say you main Kazuya. This is a Kazuya file, right? So I just wrote Kazuya, win-loss, advanced, Tekken 7, blah, blah, blah. And I made my own Tekken docs folder. So it just goes right into your folder, so you know where you left it and whatnot. So that's all you gotta do. So just change the name, make your own folder, boop, boop, and then you move to the next frame, which basically will transport you to a new tab, which will say on top your title that you wrote. So he writes Kazuya, win-loss, advanced Tekken 7, MTS 2019 version 1. So that is yours. So from this point on, as soon as you see that, you can start editing, inputting data into that's your file. And it's exactly the same as my one. So there's nothing you need to change. Super, super simple. Encounter chart. So this is the first chart we're going through. Let me just turn my page. Okay, so what is an encounter? Okay, so we are going to set definitions. So an encounter is whenever you get matched with an opponent in any kind of matchmaking, online or offline, doesn't matter. If you get matched with someone and you end up rematching 7 times, let's say you get into a lobby, you're matching someone, you finish the match, you just hit rematch and you just pair up and just keep replaying. Doesn't matter if you play 7, 2, 10, 50 times in a row, that's one encounter. Okay, it doesn't count the matches you did, just when did you get paired up? Let's say if you leave and then you go back to the lobby and you get paired again, that's up to you. If it's done in within the same minute, I might just keep it the same encounter. But if it's like a 20-minute difference and then you get paired up again, hey, it's a new encounter. So just keep that as a second encounter. So what is the goal of this chart? The goal of this chart, the main purpose of these charts is to find out exactly what characters populate your area. Globally, there's an understanding of which characters are most popular and unpopular. We all know, generally.
Got some bad luck coming.
Danny Brucey, dropping the hose, dude. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much, man. So, what was I saying? Yep. So, I'm not gonna say you derailed me, but you derailed me just a bit. But yeah, okay. So once you, okay, yep. Globally, there's an understanding of which characters are most popular and unpopular. But depending on which region you live, those figures. Opa, Monani hosting, dude. There you go, man. the man who speaks in tongues. Thank you, man. So yeah, what was I saying? So I have to put my finger on the paper. So depending on which region you live, those figures deviate a bit. Once you get even close to your state or city, global trends become very unreliable. Oh, J.K. Reed hosting, man. Everyone's just trying to derail me. Oh, I got my finger on it this time, dude. Don't worry. Oh no, is this another host that's gonna go off? Another host is gonna go off? Yikes, dude. This is like host spamming, dude. This is pretty good. That's the kind of spam I like. So keep them rolling. There's Sainted, Rebellion, J.K. Reed. Excellent, appreciate it. So, motherfucker. Where's the other one? I don't even know. Oh, that's for the Sainted one. It's all good. So, by knowing which characters you have versed the most or least, it gives you an idea as to which characters you may need to lab against because they are extremely likely opponent you'll face, or perhaps you lack the experience against them, and that's the reason why you don't have the matchup knowledge required. Who else is this? Alvin, of course, the best man in the world. Permanently naked, but you know, with a big heart. Don't worry. So, but basically that's what I'm saying. You want to see not only who's the most popular around, but who's maybe the least popular that's causing you matchup issues. As anything, of course. Appreciate it, dude. Okay, so people from around the world could share their matchup results and create an even more refined map of character popularity. Yeah, so that would be cool to like people from different areas showing their stuff, or people in the same area trying to like put theirs together and get a bigger idea. So by knowing which characters you have versed on those, yep, already did that. So let's get the next bit. So we've got 3 versions, right? So we're gonna do a summary of each version, right? Basic. Only keeps track of encounters across characters, not rank. It just basically says how many times have you fought Jin, Kazuya, whatnot, Dragunov, Leo, blah, blah, blah. It's just character across any category, across anything. It doesn't matter. It's just a blanket statement. It's the simplest to use, but not as at pinpoint as you would like. Intermediate version is basically keeps track of encounters across characters and rank color group. So for example, a teal ranks, the green ranks, the yellow ranks, the orange ranks, blah, 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 going up and up and up. So how many purple rank Kazuyas did you encounter? Maybe it was more purple ranks than green ranks, or vice versa. So sometimes you think that you know what's popular, but maybe it's because you're populating a certain color range that maybe it's just popular there. For example, some people told me that Jack 7 is popular in the higher ranks than the Bears. That's why I never see them in the lower ranks. I just don't see them ever. That could be just a local thing as well. I don't know, but that helps see general idea within 4 rank space who is popular and who isn't. Advanced version is the advanced version. This is my favorite. So basically what it keeps track of encounters across characters and exact rank. How many Kazuya Gembus did you see? How many Lei Mighty Rulers? How many, Lars Eternal Rulers? None. And how many, like, just all that kind of stuff. So you just, it gives you a really razor sharp idea of who is where and where most of them cluster around. So what is going on? Please no bully. Danny Brucey is hosting. Hell yeah, dude. So let's move on to explaining them. So this is the basic chart. Let's get to the basics. I don't want to miss anything. Excellent. Okay. So with the basic chart, this is the best of 5 grid. This is an example of what you would write on your notebook. Pepino. Who's the Pepino?
Pepino de novo.
Glitch Dom. I appreciate the follow, dude. The Pepino is highly appreciated. Thank you, dude. So keep an eye out on this. Watch and learn. So this is the best of 5 grid. So basically I go into a lobby. I'm not specifying which one. You can make a document that's just for quick match. You can make a document that is just for ranked. You can make one that's both. Look, at my level, I can just do one for everything. I just want to know generally. But if you really want to know, like, who do people play in ranked? Because some people might play experiment in quick play. You don't want those numbers to mix and, I'll explain that later. Don't worry. So basically, I got into a lobby. I met a Jin. Write his name Jin. Write a best of 5 block. Even though, see, some of them are incomplete, I still write the best of 5 anyways. Win is a circle. I write the score on top. That's just a personal thing. And an X if you lose. Just to get an idea of what's it. And then, at the result, win, loss, loss. And for example, with the Paul, I played more than a best of 5, as you can see, right? I did a best of 5 here and another one. So instead of writing Paul, it's just the same Paul, but I just write it underneath another best of 5 grid. That's it. It's super simple, man. That's all you need to do. And this input can cover all the charts. That's why you don't have to write 3 different notes for 3 different papers. It's one for all. So let's move on to the next one. This is how you enter it. So this is how you enter it. Let me see, what did I write here that needs notice? Okay, so this is the basic one. It just writes Tekken 7. It's just the roster of all the characters, right? So you go through this, and everyone's in alphabetical order, right? And then it will give you, everything you see here is automated. You don't have to input anything. This is this is where you input your days, the day of the year, and it just goes down. So for the 1st of January, all the way down, 1st of January, 2nd of January, 3rd of January, 4th of January, and it has an alternating grid to like visually make it easier to see where you are. So all you do is you write down, I saw 5 Jins, I scroll down to Jin, today's the 1st of January, write 5, that's it. So it will keep annual numbers, how many you see all year, how many you see every quarter of the year, so every 3 months. It will keep tally so you can see, they're trending upwards, downwards, all that kind of stuff, just little details like that. That's what you're gonna notice. And at the beginning of every month, as you scroll sideways, there will be a monthly tally. So this is like, for January, I saw this guy 4 times, 7 times, 9 times. This keeps track of all that. And this, as I said, this is all automated. This is manual. And as you add things to it, the charts that will come out of it are going to be automatic. You don't have to do anything. As long as you copy it the way I said, it's going to be all just done for you. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is like put 3516 and it's all done. That's it for the day. So that's, as I said, that's why I want to keep it simple. So I'm not going to read. I'm explaining it pretty swiftly. So let's move on. This is what you're going to get afterwards. Once you go to check your charts, for the basic version, you will see encounters, January totals. So it's going to have the whole roster, and it's going to give you a bar chart of every single character, how many times you met him. So if you look here, Paul's at 35. Who's second place? So you get Devil Jin at 27 and Armor King at 27, so they're matched. And then after that, you have King at 26. And then you can see guys that go, hey, I didn't see a single Geese, I didn't see a Gigas. Fucking talk about fucking real, that's a prediction for January right there. 0 Gigas, Kuma, Lars, I didn't see any of them. These are all made up numbers. I just like smashed some numbers to see how it would look like. But you'll get to see, who's reoccurring, who's just never existent, all that kind of stuff. But this is across everything. As I said, this is the basic chart. You can't see exactly where they're coming from. So, intermediate chart. This is a little bit spicier. So let me just go forward. Okay, this is how you do the grid of 5 in this scenario. So it is the best of 5. So you will write, let's say Jack 7, orange rank. That's all. That's the only addition that you need between intermediate and basic. Is just the rank color. Asuka orange rank, Josie red, and that's it. So then again, the best of 5 grids, and accordingly, same shit as before. Nothing changes. Super simple. Okay, so for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure you all know, what each color represents. So as you will see, I made a little bit of my own version because I didn't know what they may be called. They might be called something different. So correct me if it's outrageously wrong, I'll change it. If it's like sort of the same thing, we'll just move along. It's not a big deal, real. So I made a brown rank, which is between beginner and 9th Q. Anything before the dans is just brown rank. Silver, first dan to third dan, teal, green ranks, yellow ranks, orange ranks, and their recording names. You know all that stuff. You're good. And of course the second half, which is, okay, red. I wrote purple ranks, but apparently I heard somewhere it's called violet ranks. And then blue ranks. I wrote gods. Between Emperor, Tekken, King, Tekken God, True Tekken God. I just clumped that as gods. But then later on I found out that that's called purple. Does it really matter? I don't think so. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And then of course Prime, which is just 1 rank for Prime. Just, that needs its own highlight, right? There's going to be people playing at a higher level. Like the guys that deal in Prime constantly want to know just the Primes. I think it's super important to know that. This is what the chart looks like. Basically exactly the same as the other one. But the only difference is that this one has the ranking color above it. So you see a red line, red ranks. This is the red rank roster. As you scroll up and down, there'll be repetitions of the roster in different color names. So above that's the orange, and below that will be the blue ranks. Yes, purple ranks, sorry. So that's it. And then same deal. I saw, let's say on the 3rd of January, I saw 3 Armor Kings. That's it. You input that. It's automatic, done for you. So with this is what you'll get afterwards. Automated charts. Same shit. So it says red ranks, January totals. And I match the color of the bars to the color of the bar above each color rank. So it's consistent. So like even if you just quickly look at it, that's the red rank. And you'll see again, okay, I think the numbers are roughly the same. So Paul's first, Steve, Armor King, and Devil Jin are second place or drawed. And second place is Law at 29. And of course, no Kuma and no Lars, as it should be. Moving along. So that's pretty much it. Advanced. Also, one thing before I go back. Let's go back. These charts, there will be underneath the tabs, there'll be the input grid, and underneath it there will be 1 tab per color, rank color. So there'll be a brown tab, a teal tab, a green, orange, yellow, purple, blue. Each one has its own tabs, and once you go within it, let me read that because I'll have to explain just quickly. You will basically get, so in this one, there's 187 charts in the intermediate version. So there is one annual, per rank, there's 11 groups for each color, right? There's one annual, 4 quarterlies, and then every month, so 12 monthlies, right? So a total of 17 per color group. So yeah, that will be all automated. You don't have to do anything, right? So that's 187, and I think for the basic one, it's just 17 charts because it's one category because it's for everything. So from basic, you get 17 charts. From intermediate, you get 187 bars. So big bump, right? So let's go to the advanced now that we got there. So let's just move along. Again, it's gonna sound very familiar, but again, same shit. So you just put your character name, you put the best of 5 grid, and then just the exact rank. Fujin, Yakuza, Emperor. That's it. Why even more elaborate further? That's it. Super simple. Input charts. Again, very simple, very similar. Instead of just the color, it's going to be each rank is going to have its own roster of names, right? So Emperor, when did you find a so-and-so Emperor? Just input that in. It becomes automated. Ready. That's it. Straightforward. So, advanced, same idea. With this one, same idea. It will just give you everything per, January Emperor ranks. That's it. So you'll see everything you match in January, so-and-so. Let's see. So that's that, right? And this goes to a total of 629 charts for the advanced one. So throughout the whole year, every rank, the 629 total charts to look at, which is 11 groups, again, as the intermediate, but within it, 4 ranks or 3 ranks, depending. So that's 37 ranks in total. Again, one annual per group, there'll be 1 annual, 4 quarterly, and 12 monthly. Same thing. So let's move on to the next chart. Pretty straightforward. We're actually cruising. I'm surprised how much we're cruising. So, what is so wins and losses. Okay, so let's move on to that bit. Cool. What is a win and a loss? So a win and loss is a result of a match in any kind of matchmaking, online or offline, it doesn't matter. Same deal, right? If you get matched with someone and you end up rematching 7 times, as I said in the previous example, well, those are now 7 different matches. It's not about the one encounter, it's about what you did within that encounter. So for example, 3 wins, 4 losses, straightforward. Now, where it can become extremely advanced, this is for the data freaks. This is not for like the average Joe. I wouldn't even do that. There's a lot of value to it, but not at my level right now. Not worth it. So what you do, where you can become extremely advanced, is in how you measure the win and loss. So the most common and perfectly fine way, that's the way I do it, is counting the wins and losses, is the Toretto method. The Toretto method is, basically goes upon the immortal quote, right? Of ask any fighter, any real fighter. It don't matter if you win by a double Luigi or a no round Brown. Winning's winning, right? So that's we all know that quote, of course. So it doesn't matter if it was, double Luigi or a no round Brown. Loss is a loss, or a win is a win. That's it, right? By that metric, if you lose 2 matches, that will count as 0-2. Clean cut. That's just the way I've been measuring it on the charts, right? But instead, this is for the data freaks, of course, if you count the rounds, this could be like, if you just count each round, let's say 2-3, 0-3, 1-3, all that kind of stuff. If you take those together, you can get things like a 4-6 or an 0-6, right? Which are both the same result. That's both an 0-2 loss, but the perspective changes drastically, right? This method can show you the difference between almost having it and having no chance at all. You can say that you lost 0-2 to someone, but if you say that you got double no round brown or doo-doo brown, as it's known, that's a big deal. Like, that shows a difference. It's like you nearly had it. It's like you were getting fucked. So, so there we go. So, what's the next chart? So, what is a goals chart? The main purpose of this chart is not only to keep track of your progress over time, visualizing your win rate consistency, and trajectory, but you also see your win rate against every single character matchup. Not only across time, but across every rank. This way you can find out if you're truly strong or weak against a certain matchup and within the class of player you belong in, right? So combine this information with encounter charts, and you can see if the frequency of the matchup affects your win rate positively or negatively. So you got to keep track of that. You can also see if there's a certain character that behaves like a gatekeeper between ranks, right? Everyone's strengths and weaknesses are unique, even amongst people who have the same mains. So this document becomes your fingerprint of those strengths and weaknesses in real time. So you basically get to see exactly where you're weak and strong against. So let's just go. In this one, there's only 2 versions for this one because I won't explain now, but one of them was so simple it was redundant. That's what was my first one I ever did. And I was like, this is giving me no information. But basic and advanced of this version gives you what you need, right? So the basic version is it keeps track of your win rate across characters and rank color group. It's just basically the intermediate chart of the encounters if you think about it that way. It keeps track of your daily total win rate, daily performance. Like apart from all the matchups and all that, it gives you just your daily. What did you do today? Did you do bad? Well, it tells you. Keeps track of your monthly, quarterly total win rate and a monthly performance. And the simplest to use, but less detailed, right? Because you only get to see it through color groups. For some people, for most people, that's probably good enough. But for people that want to be like, there's a big difference between 2 ranks. Let's say between green ranks, there's nothing really happening. It's like a big cluster. But between blue ranks up high, there could be a difference between 2 ranks. But you know what I mean. Advanced version keeps track of win rate across characters and exact rank, just like the advanced encounter chart. Same idea. Keeps track of your daily total win rate, daily performance. Keeps track of your monthly and quarterly total win rates, and by being able to keep track of progress throughout every rank, you have a more granular ability to analyze your training strategies. So let's just see an example. So we go to the basic chart. Hey, I think I wrote it wrong. There's your first mistake. So basically what this was supposed to be is the intermediate chart. So it will say Jin and it will say like orange. It will say king, and underneath you put the red rank, and so on and so forth. It's basically the intermediate chart. That's it. So same idea, just add the rank underneath. I'll fix that, but then again, I'm not going to share this presentation. The manual is correct though. The manual is correct. So again, the groups, if you already know it, it is basically brown from beginner to 9th Q, silver to 1st dan to 3rd dan, teals, greens, yellow, orange. You know it. All right. Let's just go through that. This is the wins and losses chart. It's a little bit different, but pretty much the same. So again, from here to here, all automated, and this is what you input. So this is an example, orange rank, and let's say, for example, with the encounter chart, there was 1 row per day. With the wins and loss charts, it's 2. So it's basically the win chart, the win row, and the loss. And each letter is green and red accordingly, so you can just see visually which one's a win and a loss. So it's just basically 2 bars. So it's the 1st of January and I fought a Armor King. Okay, I won 12 times and I lost 9. That's it. Orange rank, Armor King. And then it will cough out, your monthly percentages are here. So say how many times did you lose this month, how much time did you win, and what was your percentage rate. And of course that's going to be collected at the end for annual rates, quarterlies, and monthlies. Same shit as the encounters. So for example, this case, during January, you had a 57.14 chance of beating a orange rank Armor King. So you know how good you're at that matchup. Here we go. Sainted? No, I will not do your taxes. Okay, so, and also if you scroll to the bottom of the roster, there's totals. And you will see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here, it writes in red daily. And it basically gets the whole day. Said January the 1st, you had a 48.28% win rate. So that's what you did for the day. That was your performance against orange ranks, just in general. So this is a really nice number to see your daily performance. How do you do? So you do 48.28, the next day you did 56.76. So you had an 8% bump between a day. Now, between days is not that important, but if you collect a month's worth, you get to really see if you're going upwards, downwards, or flat. Because you might have a good day or a bad day and it just sinks it, but it may not affect the average overall. That's a really common thing. Like I felt like I had bad days and I was like, fuck, I'm regressing. And then I look at my stats and I'm like, okay, that was just like a bad 2 days, but my average is going up every month, like by 10%. So you can really get bogged down not knowing how you're truly doing and having bad mental game. It's really, really important to like push through that and not let it affect you. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is an interesting chart. This is your daily win rate. This is all automated. You don't have to do anything, right? So remember I told you about those numbers at the end where it's basically your daily performance, your 46%, your 50 something percent. Well, this chart is going to collect that and smack a line there. So every day you play, it will put your average. Every day you play. If you miss a couple days, it will be empty. That's fine. It won't affect any results really. It's just going to keep going, right? And this yellow line is a trend line showing where your projections are, what's your average and where you're going in the future. So this is an example of 3 months of daily gaming. And you'll see that there's some spikes, you have some good days, that's pretty good, but it's not like you became that great, it's just that it's above average day. And you have some below average days, you got some really bad days here, here you got screwed, like that's worse than like one of your first days. But that happens sometimes, you just don't know what kind of day you're gonna have. So then you can kind of recover, you go back down, it's live, you get to see exactly what's going on. And this is for the whole year. If you do a whole year of playing, if you play every day, you have 365 bars to look at. It's just going to be really refined. It's going to show you exactly what you're doing against red ranks for the whole year of 2019. So this is pretty dank. Let me move forward. So this is another chart you'll get as well, which this is the monthly win rate. So every month you'll get a bar. So let's say you've got 35% the first month, 40% the second, then 6 months in you got 56, and at the end of the year you're 62. So you've seen a progression. So maybe in the purple ranks you couldn't survive in the beginning of the year. It's like, you know, you get in, you get kicked out, you get in, you get kicked out. And maybe halfway through the year you could like stick into a couple ranks and float. And now like towards the end of the year you're consistently winning. Like you're better than a coin flip now. Like 50-50 is the coin flip. So if you're 60%, you're more than likely going to win now. That will allow you to progress. And you get to visually see that progression. And you'll see like some months are better than the others. Like you go 56 to 54. So that was a slump month, you know. But you can see you pick up again, 62, 63, 65, and then back to 62. December you kind of slouched. And of course it will break it down to quarters as well. So you get to see like a more macro version of everything. So 40%, 51, 57, 63, and you just see that trend. So that's nice to look at, per rank color, right? So let's go. Oh, and this is the monthly chart. So for example, so that is, so orange ranks January, just not your daily performance, but your matchup performance. This is different. Again, automated, you don't have to make anything. So you just go to January and say, okay, what did I do? Okay, so Josie, for all of January, every orange rank Josie, I got 100% win rate. I didn't lose all month. That's some PogChamp shit. Like if you show that, flex that shit. And then you'll see sometimes you won't have an encounter with someone. Let's say the whole month. Let's say Gigas. As we will all see very soon, you'll do a whole month of inputting and there's no Gigas. So it's just it's a grey flat bottom. There's nothing there, right? But what happens if, let's say the whole month you never beat someone? You get fucked every time. Is that okay? That's an example. Marak, oh, he tackled me. Who would have thunk it? 0%. It becomes an orange little flat brick with a 0%. That separates the difference between never winning and never encountering. So that's what it looks like. It makes sense once you see it, and in the manual it's there. Okay, of course this is across every color, so I think 11 groups, and same deal, 1 annual, 4 quarterlies, and 12 monthlies. Same thing. Super, super simple. Let's get to the advanced. Okay, this one's correct. Okay, so same thing as the advanced encounter chart. So if you're like writing an advanced encounter chart, it covers the advanced win and loss chart. It's a one thing to write for everything. Even though if you wrote intermediate and it's like purple rank, like, you know, you can say Fujin is blue rank for your encounters, but advanced, you just keep it as Fujin. Same deal. We already talked about like 6 times already. That's what I'm trying to I'm basically repeating the process to get the idea how basic it is. Just one thing for everything. So again, you can choose how you count your wins. As I said before, is it 3-2 or is it, you know, 3-0, then 3-6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 5, 5, 10. So that's 10-10, that match. So you either won 3-2 or you draw at 10-10, depending on how you see it. For someone that really wants to dominate and win with confidence, you want to even win the round count and not just the match count. That's for hardcore people. I'm not hardcore enough to do that, but it's there. You can do that. It's super simple. Stick to the Toretto method for everything else. So I just read the chat about the calculus. Fucking hell. Okay, so so the inputs for advanced, same as the previous one, but instead of rank color, it's just rank name. Same deal. 2 rows, win row, loss row, and you just put your appropriate wins and losses for every character at that rank. Straightforward. Okay, so and the bottom, of course, at the bottom of the roster, it will keep totals of your monthly performance. So 51.98% for January, but on the first day it was 48% and the second day was 55. And again, it will keep averages for quarterlies, annuals, and whatnot. Everything's covered. So, and of course, the daily performance across every single rank. So there's your Yakuza 3 month. This is a 3-month example, but as you can see, you know, you're eating shit in the beginning. You're kind of picking up. You dip a bit. Then you get up again. Then you dip a bit, and you come back up. That's 3 months, right? If you miss a day, it's empty. No big deal. That's not a big deal at all. Let's see. Yep. So this is your monthlies. Let's say Tekken God, the Tekken God matchups that you had. Eating shit in the beginning, not so much later. That's pretty great. So you get to see the growth over time. Same thing as before. And this is the monthly exact rank version. So Eternal Rulers by character. And as we said before, Nina, you never beat a Nina. You get a 0% and the flat square. And you didn't see a single Eliza. So that's why that's empty. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. We have a new chart. The third chart, the final chart. So let's go to the competitive chart. Yeah. So let me just push this forward. So what is the demon chart? That you can call it competitive chart, you can call it demon chart. It's correct either way. So a demon in the FGC is a person who you've never managed to beat, blocking you from achieving your goals. This chart only allows you to write their name, the characters they use, and keep track of your progress against them for the whole year. So this is for like offline, online, locals, all that shit. That's just for the people, real people that you know. In essence, it is a simplified win and loss basic chart. It's dumbed down completely, but that's all you need, really. Instead of ranks going down with the roster, there's just 10 demons. First demon, second demon, that you get to change the name, so you can say Bob and all that kind of stuff, right? And within each demon, instead of having the whole 40 fucking something roster, it's just 5 character slots from primary to quinary. So you just, you know, the primary, secondary, tertiary, you know, quin, and all that stuff. So you basically keep from first to fourth. Not a lot of people play more than 5 characters realistically. If they do, just reserve the second demon slot underneath it for the same person and just keep writing more names. You're not going to be fighting Ni anytime soon, unless you are from Korea. Unless you are, hey, use a whole demon chart for Ni, because it's probably like 40 slots. So keep an eye out for that. So, more than 50 slots. So you should be sweet. So what is the goal of this chart? Let's move on to the next one. Hey, as a competitor, you always want to know how you measure up against the best. You're not the only one that wants to become the best. So keeping tabs on your competition, you can see if you're catching up or being caught upon. The experience and gameplay of fighting games offline versus online can be drastic. So by also having competitive data, you can see how close your skills are being reflected in both fields, letting you know if you are substantial enough worth finding approaches to close the gap. So you might be like an online warrior, but as soon as you go to locals, you eat shit, or vice versa. Maybe you're really good offline, but you just play online and you get cheesed up and you don't know what to do. So it gets to show you where do you sit on either one. Are you pretty consistent across the board? Are you heavy on one side or the other? So let's go to the version summary. Muy bien. So that's just it's basic. It's one chart. That's it. So it keeps track of your win rate across 10 demons and 5 characters per demon. Keeps track of your daily total win rates, daily performance. So how'd you do? You know, a whole day against them. So yeah, it keeps track of that. Keeps track of your monthly, quarterly, and total win rates, monthly performance. Simplified win and loss ratio, right? Let's go to the basic, which is the only one. So Okay, this is what happened to you one day, right? You played against Book, against his Jin, you beat the bitch. Simple. Did you win 3-2 or did you draw 10-10? That's up to you how to count it. Then you fought Nobby Steve, and guess what? You beat him because he didn't play Dragunov. Okay, so there you go. So 3-1, easy. And then Roadblock, Mr. Naps, Brian. You got fucked, son. Lost twice. So, you just keep track of that. So you just go back home, you go to your charts, boom. And lo and behold, you just you add your demon. So you got Nee up here. We've got his Devil Jin, Brian, Lily, Steve, Paul. You only managed to get 5 out of him. And you keep track on the January the 1st. Again, 2 columns, win, losses, and your daily. So let's say that day, I had 33% chance of beating him, and the next day 30. So it only gets worse for me, right? And then, you fought Fergus. Hey, how's that? He's got Asuka, Katarina, and Anna. And the other next 2 slots are empty. It's Quaternary and Quinary. They're just empty slots. You just leave them. You can either just empty out the slot or just leave the word there. It doesn't matter. And then you just put your matches. So 47 in one day, 40% in the other. So I'm still losing no matter what. But hey, at least I'm keeping track of stuff. Okay, so there you go. So again, as we saw the daily matchup thing, hey, daily win rates against JDCR. How did we do against JDCR? At the beginning of the year, absolute shit, less than 20%. But you see, you fight him every few days. Like if you miss a day, so you can basically say you fight him in weeklies, maybe sometimes in the middle of the week, or as a monthly. And this is like 3 months, or I think this may be, this may be 3 months of match data. And as you can see, you're kind of getting an edge. And some days you eat shit. So there you go. You can see your progress against JDCR. You use these charts, it automates, and it'll basically it will write like third demon if he's his third, right? But you can go and click that and change the name. Or you can just remember the color, because if you look beforehand, right? Nee is like this burgundy, and Fergus has this orange. That means that when you go to the charts, the orange charts will be Fergus's, the burgundy will be for Nee. So that's kind of color coding things. That's why I say use the Google Sheets version. Everything will be formatted. Okay. Oh, what's going on every month against speed kicks, you say? Well, let's see. 44%, 45, 44, 42, 4 months, just grinding, nothing. Whoop, we saw a little bit of progress. Figured me out, 48 again. Get a bit of progress. You know what, at the end of the year, we're doing good. We're doing good. So, as you can see, your trajectory, the half of the year was kind of stuck. And then the second half, you kind of broke through some ceiling and you kind of ascended, right? So you get to see that against specific people that you verse. Burgundy. Okay, moving on. January win rate. So, as we said, we can do demon specific against their characters. You can see. So, this is the knees. Burgundy knee. Devil Jin. Brian, Lily, Steve, and Paul. So, I never got to beat Paul. But I have a 60% chance against his Steve, 40% against his Lily, 30% against his Devil Jin. And overall, 32%. That's just for January. So, every month you get your own annuals and blah, blah, blah. So, character specific, not just the matchup of the day. Let's see what we got. Data analysis. So this is going to be, I'm just going to do a little bit of jibber jabber about some things to keep in mind, because if you just look at it from above, like as we're looking at it now, it looks like so much stuff. It looks out of control. So I want to just talk about a couple things about what to do with the information, how to look at it, how to, deal with it, because it's a lot of stuff. It is a lot of stuff. But if you take it bit by bit, it's almost like nothing. There's almost no data if you think about it in the beginning. Because when you open these, everything's empty. There's nothing. It's gonna take you like at least a month to just see 1/12 of everything being filled up. It's just empty. Let me have some water real quick. Not that. Good shit. Oh yeah. Let's go to the first category. Analysis paralysis. This is something serious shit. So one of the biggest pitfalls you can fall into is analysis paralysis. It is a very real thing, and sometimes I had it in mind, and something I had in mind whilst I was making these documents. In order to reduce the chances of that happening, I made all the documents look and feel consistent. There's only one note you need to write to cover all the documents. The process of entering the data is the same way across the board. It's a 1-2 columns of input per day. You can get it all done in 5 minutes after you complete your session. Like when I finish my streams, I just, put a YouTube video on and just punch it in, and by the time the video is done, I'm done. It's straightforward. The objective is to jump in, drop data, jump out. Like that's it. That way you don't feel like you're wasting your whole day inputting and staring at charts. You don't want to get bogged down by it. The documents will seem barren at first, but over time they will flourish with information and you'll be receiving it in manageable chunks over time. Okay, so that's just straight up, dude. So when to review? When should you even go to the charts? Not the inputting sheets, but the actual bar charts. That's up to you. Right, okay. So, but it's always a good rule of thumb to put time between each review session. You want enough new data to collect in order to create an image that you want to extract value from. You don't want to be like pixel peeping. You want to look back and see the image. Like you want a lot of pixels to create an image. Looking at the same data every day rarely provides anything new and can make you numb to new information or any connections you might have missed. So looking real close all the time makes you miss the big picture, as I said. A bunch of good examples of review times is during a monthly wrap-up. You can do a monthly wrap-up. That's probably the best kind of amount of time to get something out of it. So you can do the top five most and least common encounters. You can do the best and worst matchups of the month. Rank win rate progression. Like, are you moving upwards or downwards with your average win rate? Tournament win rate progression. Are you like when you're going to locals? Are you just consistently on O tour, or are you getting some matches like a couple months in? Are you really starting to like push through the from pools to some kind of elimination rounds? And also you can do a contrasting analysis where compare this month to last month. So you can get your wrap-ups and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and is that good? Am I doing better or worse than last month? Am I moving forward? Am I stagnating? Am I just plateauing? You just keep track of that. So all those examples above can be done in different time frames and combinations. So be creative and experiment to see what suits your needs. So once you see what needs to be worked on during your review, so you just sit one day, have a coffee, sit down, and just look at your charts, do some contrasting, share them on Twitter, see what people think or something. Just put it out there, compare it with some friend of yours that see what they do. Are they having the same problems that you are? Do they have, maybe they're strong against a matchup you're weak and you're strong against something that they're weak, and you can cross-train each other with tips. All those examples of bumps can be done in different time frames and combinations. Be creative and experiment to see what suits your needs once you need to be worked on during a review. You can set up your training for the new month. Exactly. So as you wrap things up and you figure out what you need, you can say, this is what I need to work on. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be your labbing. This is a tool for good high quality labbing. There's too many things to lab. It's practically infinite. And this, you want to at least know something like, what's the most relevant thing I can get something out of right now? Okay, I'm losing against this matchup. Okay, let's go to the string cheese document, grab the top 10 moves. Let's punish all of them. Let's figure them out. Let's see, can we sidestep it? Can we block it? Can we punish? All that stuff. That's the real work. You're not going to spend time looking at these sheets. If you've got 2 hours, don't spend an hour and a half looking at this and then labbing. You should be looking at this for half an hour and labbing for an hour and a half, if you know what I mean. Like, just don't get too bogged down, because I love data, all that kind of stuff, but moderation is key. Super important. It keeps you less stressed. Okay, so things to look for. The same data can be interpreted differently depending on who's looking at it. This has been a problem that has been plaguing AI and big data analysts for decades. Now it's your turn. The more time I spent writing these documents, testing and looking at charts, new ideas and applications will always come to mind. New things to look for using the already given data would come up non-stop. It seems never ending, which is great. Like, that's what you want. You want to see the same data and say, how about if I connect that with that? What if I do this with that? I don't know. Like, let's test it, see what happens. So, as I was making, I was adding things. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm just going to stop. Like, let's do them as updates later on. But let's just drop the documents, see what other people think. Maybe they agree with something that I saw. Maybe they want to change it, optimize it, whatever. Just, let the people kind of, it's like open software in that sense, right? Okay, so I'm just going to put a few examples, right? A few examples of basic ideas to consider. Then you can build on top of that. Like, I'm just going to throw a few things just to keep the noggin jogging, right? So identifying tipping points. So at what percentage win rate did you maintain your position within a rank? So like, how much did it take to get that the position in your rank? At what percentage win rate do you have the ability to move on to the next rank? So, for example, like if you're playing a rank and you're around 30% win rate, 40% win rate, don't expect a promotion match. It's really hard. Like you might get up and you get knocked back down because your average overall is not above above a tipping point. And then we also got to identify what is the tipping point. Is it 55%? Is it 52? Is it 50? Is it 60? Once you notice, like, okay, once I got to this percentage rate as an average, all of a sudden I never demoted beyond this rank and I just kept pushing up. That's the key points that you need to know. And at what percentage rate do you no longer drop back down after promoting? Like where are you now? Where you truly sit at? Where you can't get knocked below? That's your true rank, right? So you can find those percentages. Once you have a grasp on those numbers, you no longer have to be concerned on why am I not promoting? All you must do is keep an eye out on your average win rate within your rank of interest and reach the tipping point. You can write your tipping point percentage somewhere. As soon as you start seeing it, you're like, now I'm moving forward. That's the ceiling I need to break through. Then all that is left for you is to keep labbing and improve your matchup knowledge. So as soon as you see like, this is my percentage rate, okay, I'm at 36%. Okay, I need to improve that. Who am I losing against? These guys. Lab against them, improve that. Win rate goes up to 42%. Where am I sticking point? These guys, work on these guys. Just incrementalize, work upon that information. Make it useful. Don't just look at it and just like share it on Facebook for nothing. Like just sit on it and say, okay, this is what I need to work on. That's it. Okay, so, so keep labbing and your matchup knowledge. The win rate will take care of itself. That will increase as you improve your labbing, right? And sometimes it's in-game experience. It's doing lots of fights can increase your win rate as well because you gain experience and predictability knowledge of the matchups. Like, what will they do if you do this? Like you just start to learn patterns. Okay, so another idea is in-game performance affected by external factors. So external stresses, diet, sleep, exercise, detect natural performance cycles. So correlating data to real-life events could help identify and the influence they may have or may not have on your game performance. So allowing you then to take actions towards building tolerances against those stresses or even taking steps towards removing or modifying them. So like, have you had a really bad week at work, exams at uni or at school? That might, you might have a bad week in Tekken. It's like all of a sudden like you're 10% lower than your average and like, what the fuck's going on? Then you're like, oh yeah, I've been really busy at work. Or I've been really tired. I've been burnt out from my workouts. Or maybe I need to work out because I'm feeling really like tired and just, I'm not active. And when you work out a lot, frequently you kind of have more energy than normal and you're sharper. Maybe you're dull because you stopped going to the gym for 3 months. It's like, oh man, I feel like shit. I'm gaining weight, I'm not focusing. That could be affecting your play. And this is something that could concern high-level guys. Very important for high-level people. Like, because, these people want to call themselves e-athletes, right? Well, this is athletic kind of way of thinking things, right? It's your body and your mind and your hands, all that. They're part of the same system. So you got to make sure the engine and the machine is running, everything's lubed up and running properly. Changes affected by balance patches and DLC. So tracking encounter fluctuations before and after releases. Let's say the Lei and Anna patch. You just saw Leis everywhere for 2 weeks and then it disappeared. Little margin Evo, Kings up the wazoo for 2 months and then they kind of tip off. You see like Panda won the World Tour, you might see more Pandas and they dip off. But sometimes you'll see something like Lily versus Devil Jin and you start Lilies popping up and kind of staying because they kind of like work against hard opponents that you need to sidestep well. So just keeping track of that, like what's a fad and what's a true trend that's happening now? Is new meta being changed? Someone like discovered a new combo and all of a sudden like it makes him a viable character. Hey, you're gonna start seeing people use him more often. What? Gross yourself out there? What? I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm chat's burning my eyes. I'm wearing polarized lenses, but it still burns my eyes. So what does it say here? There are many types of events to keep an eye out for that can influence the game. New meta being developed, combos and cancels that were never thought of, changing the way the game is played. New tier lists made by professionals and experts, influencing the character selection decisions across the world. So you get to see that for yourself. Like, is it really affecting you, or is it just somewhere else? Even competitive upsets can cause shifts in popularity and effectiveness of characters within a roster. Having a major competitive event toppled by someone unknown or not expected to reach that far, making an unorthodox main or playstyle, can psychologically affect the perception of what is possible and what are the true available options for success on a global scale. Whenever your event like that may occur, you'll be able to detect it through your encounters, wins and losses, documents. Like those are actually going to allow you to see that happening in real time where you are. Again, these are just a few examples of what's possible. But the more I write, the more I think about it, and even you guys watching this probably getting like, you're starting to like connect the dots and say, hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. So that's up to you, right? So let's make some considerations regarding which document to start using. There really is no wrong answer. The amount of depth you want is up to you. There's a few considerations to keep in mind before you start, and a couple of recommended setups to use. The main thing to keep in mind is that these documents last for the whole year. That's another thing you have to think about. This is going to be for a year long, right? So what I'm telling you is that you must predict your expectations for the whole year, not right now. Let's say if you're a beginner, like I'm a beginner, I could probably go to a basic chart for encounters, but maybe 6 months across the line, I'm like, you know what? I want to get a bit more fidelity. I should go for the intermediate. Then you got to like transfer shit over. But if you just start off with the intermediate because you believe in yourself that you're going to bump up and you're going to want that information later, hey, let's just do the intermediate immediately for this year. Or maybe you're intermediate and then, you know, in 7 months or 10 months, where you want to really grind, you want advanced information. Well, try and like predict that expectation out of yourself and try and predict ahead so you only need to write things once. That's a consideration to have. If you really don't give a shit and just want to keep things simple, I just want this, that's fine. That meets your expectations. Just don't feel like, oh, I should have like thought about it, you know, 6 months ago. I was like, I should have seen that, I wanted more information. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. So yeah, for example, yeah, that's what I just talked about. So another consideration is that your note taking covers every single document. So at least have one copy of each version running. So an encounter chart, a win and loss, and a demon. Just have one of each, at least one of each running, right? That way you'll get a full picture of your progress made little by little, daily, right? You have to go back and later. Not having to go back later and input data or miss out on data. It's just, you know, as I said, just do it once, make a good decision about what you want, and it'll take care of itself. The third consideration has to do with the wins and losses charts. I personally think this is a pro tip. I wouldn't mix the results between different characters you play. So say if I play Dragunov and Heihachi, I got a Dragunov and a Heihachi separate ones. I don't want to mix my win rates between them. Unless you're equally good with your characters and you're a counter pick kind of player where you have like 5 characters and you pick according to what your opponent's playing and you've got this overall confidence that's kind of equal, do that. Do one chart for yourself. Just name it your name. That's fine. If you're a single main, like a one trick, you're probably the happiest because it's just one chart. That's fine. If you've got 2, I have 2. I'm going to do 2 or maybe 3, depending. But I'm happy to do that. It's no big deal. So when you write your notes, just write on top who you're playing as so you can know later what you inputted. Because, you know, let's say you're picking up a character and you got a character that's very well, very successful, and then you mix it with someone that you... Oh! Pepino!
Pepino!
Okay.
Pepino de novo!
Okay. What is that? Okay. It's like Clop. I don't know, man. That's some clopping shit. It's getting very close to clopping. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to say thank you for following. The Pepino is very appreciated. But, you know, I'm just going to maybe potentially some clopping action, dude. I don't know. If you flex. What? Yeah, so. What do I say here? What are we here? I lost my thing. Cock? Oh, what? Yeah, sure. Yep, wins and losses, I wouldn't mix them. So for example, if you got like a 70% win rate character, and then you're just playing someone that's 20, it's gonna screw your averages. It's gonna say like you are a 50-50 or something. Like when you're really not. You're just learning a character. And if you have a different shape for a character you want to start seriously learning, you can really see the curve, the learning curve. Does it take you a month to become consistent? Does it take you 2 weeks? Does it take you 3 months? That's kind of cool to see how quick can you pick up a new character, or how easy was it to pick up that character. To just share information to other people that are always asking, like, whoa, is this guy easy or not? if you have the information, you can really seriously say that, right? Okay, so mix and match. Oh, let's mix and match. Basic starter kits, right? So a basic starter kit would be an intermediate encounter chart, so you can have the color ranks, and this is for all matchups. Just one encounter chart for everything. Don't care about ranked, unranked, and whatnot. Just one for everything. A basic win and losers chart for each character you play. So they're basically two intermediate style charts, just ranked colors across the board. And a copy for each character you play, so your main and your secondary, for example. And then a basic chart, a demon chart. There's one competitive chart if you do locals, right? That's the basic starter kit. Just one of each. Intermediate encounters, basic win and loss, basic demon. Advanced starter kit, like for example, the basic one is the one I started with. That's the one I've been using in the beginning of this project. That's the charts that I've been using. The advanced is the one I'm going to be using next year. Like starting 2019, that's the package I'm going to make. So it's going to be an advanced encounters for all matchups. Again, I'm not splitting it. I'm just keeping it one for everything. An advanced win and losses for every character I play, and a basic demon. So it's almost the same. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, something for extreme data heads regarding the encounter chart. I just like to have one chart for everything. I don't really care when it comes from. But if you really want to take it to the next level, okay, this is it. So if you really want to crank things up, you can like split documents across every platform. PC data, console data, arcade, tournaments. You can like make as many as you want. This is for the, like there's gonna be one guy out there that's gonna wanna do that. So I'm talking to that person. That's gonna want ranked, quick plays, and even locations separated. So like, you know, PC ranked, where I'm at, you know, console, quick play there, or whatever the fuck, you know, just keep them all split. So you can have a super resolution kind of thing. But yeah, this is for the extreme guys, the data crunchers that love that stuff. So these people exist. I'm sort of one of them, but I'm not willing to do that right now. But I would love to see those results. I'm very keen to see that. This isn't for the faint of heart, but I know that there's someone out there curious enough to give it a go. I would be interested to see collaborations, collecting data and compiling them into huge maps of trends and behavior. As I said, with these charts, the possibilities are endless. Heaps of things. So, ready? You've been given the tools and taught how to use them. Your only limitation is your own creativity. Go, just do it. Right? So I'm just gonna drop an epilogue, right? I have this closing statement at the manual. So this basically talks about making the sausage. You see, making the sausage, it's everywhere. What does it mean? What's the deal? What, you know, people always ask me, right? How long is this period? I need my smoke break. I can smoke right now, dude. I'm a cool teacher. Like in Greece, I'm a maths teacher. It's like, oh, whatever, dude, light up. So, so let me just read my closing statement, right? Making the sausage is a reference to an old idiom, talking about the ugly and difficult process behind the things we enjoy the most, but are completely unaware of, which can also carry the potential to put us off from it once the process has been unveiled. Then, when it comes to excellence in any field, be it athletics, music, science, art, sport, literature, engineering, and even fighting games, we always default in praising the greatest with words like talented, gifted, genius. Those are all great things to have, but none of them alone have made anyone excellent. The mistake we all make... Oh! Is that some bits? Is that a bit? Hell yeah, dude. Who's dropping that bit, dude? Okay. AS. Oh, as Mod-chan. Okay, how's it going? So, back to the statement. I appreciate the bit though. Bits matter. So, okay. So, the mistake we all make is when we are witnessing this excellence, it is in its current highest state, a final product, meaning that we never got to see the process of this excellence being made. A combination of blood, sweat, tears, and isolation. The hours that led to years, away from the public's eye in order to hone their abilities. to gain the adulation of the crowd, the result of all that work manifesting itself for only a few minutes. What would happen if we put the veil off of that process? What would the public say in response to it? You would hear a lot of things, that's for sure. Like, wow, that looks like a lot of work. If that's how it's broken down, then I might have a chance after all. So like some people are like, hey, you know, if this was done, I can do it. Maybe I can do it, you know? Some other people could say, this looks awfully repetitive. Or someone else can say, when do they take a break? You know, like, what the fuck, man? They don't have a social life, they don't have anything, other interests, then they go out and travel and see things. And, you know, and some people say, if this is what it takes to be good, then it's not worth it. Some people are like, fuck this. If that's what it takes to be that good at that, I'd rather just fucking do something else. So people want to attach themselves to the idea of talent and genius because it absolves their mind from the true reason for success. Right? They just slap someone as a genius and it's like, oh, they were born that way. I wasn't, so okay, I can take a break now. Take their mind from the true reason for success, hard work and commitment. That's what it is, right? Something we can all do, but choose not to. That's the fucking problem, right? Talent can be seen as the vehicle you have, right? So that's the talent is the car itself, the engines and all that, right? But hard work is the fuel to the vehicle. You can have a Bugatti, but if it's an empty Bugatti, you ain't going anywhere. So like, tell me again, how fast can your race car go with an empty tank? So as long as there is fuel, the vehicle can move forward. The guy might just have like a fucking, you know, a Hyundai Getz. As long as there's fuel in the Getz, he gets going, okay? But the other guy can be like, you know, really talented and all that kind of stuff, but he just doesn't put the time, he's just like too preoccupied being, you know, doing other shit and not focusing, and then his talent doesn't do anything for him. It doesn't make him great at anything. It's like, you know, some people combine talent with hard work, but the hard work is what got him there. Like, not the talent was just the engine that got him there, you know, that they're using to travel with. My goal is to awaken people to the idea that they themselves have what it takes and can fuel themselves to greatness. That's what I want, you know. It's not like, you know, not everyone is, you know, going to be world champion, but a fulfilling life is a life where you pursue that higher purpose, you know. And it's about, you know, the journey, not the destination. You might not win the world championship, but you've developed like a lot of good memories and hardships, overcoming things and growing as a person, and that's going to make you like look back at your life in a more fulfilling way and not feel like you've wasted anything. Like, I felt I had the potential for something, but I didn't go for it, and now it's too late. Like, you just want to eliminate that. It's like, no, you want to do something. You might not be the best at it, but you can be the best at, you know, you can be your best version of that, you know. So that's a more fulfilling life. You wouldn't tell someone to not pursue that because they're not cut to be the number one position. You could be in the top 100 and have a really fulfilling life. You know, top 1,000, you can still do that, you know? So a lot of people get bogged down because they're not either 1 or 0. It's not that, it's a spectrum, man. It's like you gotta like be moving and existing within that. So yeah, so that's it, man.